Welcome to another episode of the Way It Is podcast. And here we go. We'll get you introduced to this fella on my right here in a bit. But like we always do, before we get the podcast started, we got to talk about our sponsor. So our sponsor today is R. Spradling's Pre-Owned Truck Scales. And I'm going to go ahead and read off their marketing, right off of their marketing brochure. I'm excited. If you're looking for a gently used scale, well, R. Spradling Pre-Owned Truck Scales is stacking them deep and selling them cheap. If you're a farmer or a recycling center or another small business owner, this is your place to find a nice, gently used pre-owned scale at a great American price. Great American price. Hey, bad credit, low credit, don't worry. R. Spradling Pre-Owned Truck Scales offers a buy here, pay here option. They're here to help. As a matter of fact, their motto is, we're not here to make money, we're here to help people. So mention you heard them here on the Way It Is podcast. They'll give you a good Christian deal on your next pre-owned truck scale. They'll give you their friends and family discount. That's on your next pre-deal.
Christian deal on the gently used truck scale.
Yes. Speaking of Mr. Spradling, he's got a clothing line.
Okay. Yeah.
It's I'll tell you, he has a marketing budget, a pretty nice marketing budget, clothing line, and he hooked me up with this really nice shirt, and I said, you got one too.
Yes. Yeah. This is from the Spradling line.
Ah, yes. Under Armour too. It doesn't get cheap.
Yeah, gently used.
Hey, a great American price. That's our Mr. Spradling. We have here with us, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Abe Schaffer. These are the heavy capacity shipping coordinator over at B-TEK. Has been here for 26 years, and this is truly a man who started at the bottom and worked his way up. Abe, I got one thing to say to you. How are you doing? Okay, how you doing? I'm doing great, man. So one of the things you've done in the past, we were just talking about it, is when people hire the company, they watch the safety videos.
You know, one of the things I did in the past that we were talking about the jail stab, but we're bringing it.
Well, yeah, when we were in prison together, but that's a while back. I didn't want to get too deep into that, scare people, but after prison, you started doing the, you narrate the safety video. So when somebody hires a company and watch all the safety stuff, so you are the voice.
Silky voice.
So, hey, help me narrate this. We got a hazardous task that we need the safety trainer people on. Frying bacon naked.
Frying bacon naked?
Frying bacon while naked. Look at the safety precautions for that. How would we do that?
Back off.
Now give it to us in your voice. Say, when are you frying bacon?
When frying bacon naked, you'll need to step back about 3 feet.
And wear the appropriate PPE, right?
Oh, yeah. You need the PPE.
Have your manager check your PPE before. No. Abe is definitely the voice. 26 years of company, right, Abe?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know who does the voice now, though, because now with the safety videos, I have retired from narrating them.
Oh,
I believe some of my work is still in circulation.
It is in circulation. Matter of fact, everybody hires in the company gets to listen to the voice.
Yeah. I'm sorry for that.
So let them know to make sure that they're putting on their safety glasses.
I was just telling Dancy every once in a while I walk through the break room and I'll hear my own voice talking as I'm walking through there because somebody's in there doing their. Yeah. That's what I think I'm talking to myself.
Do they know it's you?
I don't know. That's interesting because usually I'll just come through and go like, "How you doing?" You know. So
I'll still cagio. Oh, so we both kind of started together. You hired it a few months after I did. And back in the late 90s, we weren't going to stay here very long, were we? Like we were going to find other jobs or something.
Right. I think that was
how did it work out for you?
Here we are. You were in the department I was hired into. What? You came in 98?
Yeah, 98, and you hired in kind of earliest 90s.
99, started in shipping. April of 99 came in the shipping, yeah.
Which was just a small.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a few shelves at the time. Now,
Funny thing, man, is like as small as that warehouse was comparatively to now, when I came in, I think I was here 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, I can't do this.
I ain't staying here very.
Well, the job was good, but it's a whole new language.
True.
Yeah,
That's a good point. What's a load cell?
What's a load cell? Like, hey, go get a UMC 600. And you're like, cool, all right.
What's it?
What is that? And there was just so much, I had training, but you got to learn by jumping in, so, but yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks in. I'm like, man, I just remember just this anxiety. It felt like, I don't know, and you catch on, and then somehow they let me stick around.
Yeah.
So
Imagine that.
yeah,
Wonder why.
I don't know.
Remember, we used to build the C600 right in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Carlton, Whaley, Johnny Maple, and the some of them there. And because remember, Whaley was the line boss. We called him the line boss. He was in charge of getting the UMC 600 production line fired up each morning. This G. Tufford, I think, yeah, he was kind of the boss there. Remember my first day, I show up for work, and I think my schedule was slightly different than like the rest. Yeah, I think he started like 8 o'clock or so.
Yeah, I had like a little Harry Potter.
8 to 5.
I was under the stairs. My desk.
You are with the light, single prison cell light above.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think y'all went on break, and I'm sitting there, and that door opens, and out comes Johnny, and out comes Brian Carlton, and I remember you came out, and you had a 2x4, and I can't remember what was written on it, Peacemaker? But he had that come out, and you had this 2x4, and it was like this running joke. You just come out and you go, shut that damn dog up.
You wonder, what did I hire into?
I think it's probably, somewhere in my first day that happened. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll do all right. This is all right. But no, you were so, all you guys, you were so good to me. Cause like, I just came in just hunk with like hair different color all the time, and
All you had to do is remember that.
yeah. So 26 years ago, I had hair. Still,
Yeah, that was back when you had it, and it would be a different color
yeah,
quite often.
yeah. I remember to fit my changing personalities, and
Yeah.
so you guys are awesome. Everybody,
Well, Jake's going to show up today.
right? Oh man, still that one.
So, what's your current role right now? In other words, heavy capacity shipping coordinator. What does that mean? What's a typical day look like for you? So, you show up on the parking lot. What are we doing?
Kick off the day, kind of probably like most people. Checking emails, just loose ends, whatever. Kind of setting my day up, getting my day on list maker. So every single day, if I don't have it written out the night before, I've got it written out first thing in the morning. Is this, and then proceed to deviate from it. But gotta have some sort of structure. But we start our day off with 8 a.m. We have production meeting, and so it's basically me and a whole bunch of the guys from production. So you got Eli, Jared in there, Eli the production manager, Jerry.
Yep.
These lots. He's basically the shop foreman. He's the production line manager.
Yeah.
And Steve, who runs paint department, Aaron, runs burn blast.
I see Steve now. He's wearing these fancy polo shirts to work.
Yeah, he got in on
Yeah.
on the deal.
Yeah. Friends apparel company.
Yeah. Steve started changing the way he dresses. Now he won't talk to anybody.
Oh, he's too snoofy.
Yeah. Nah.
Well, you don't have to worry about Steve. Just him talk. He's a communicator.
Yes, he is. No, so Steve's in there. Steve's great. And web purchasing in there. And, man, when you start, I don't realize, I'm sitting here doing this. You start doing this, you start feeling like I'm going to forget somebody.
Yeah.
But Jenny comes up from TS, joins us. And so we have that morning meeting to kind of review where we are, where we're going, what's on the shipping schedule, make sure that everything coming up next week so that everything's completed. And so just make sure we got material. Maybe.
So you're kind of helping to settle a production schedule for truck scales.
Yeah. So when an order comes in, you want me to get into that?
Yeah, no. All right, let's do it right now. Walk me through the process of what all has to take place behind the scenes to make that happen. I mean, it's a lot of moving pieces.
All right, so I will. Brevity is not my
pursuit. Fair enough. We got plenty of memory on the camera card.
My girl Melissa would be like, if she were to ever see this, he's not brief. Basically, yeah. So when an order comes in, it's going to come upstairs. And you get a quick once over by engineer. Okay, you're just gonna take a peek at it, see if anything jumps out at them that's anything major that's missing. And it's gonna get and this is only a very initial review. And it comes to me to enter the order and basically give it a lead time, just figure out where it fits in the schedule.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's entered, it is scheduled, and it was acknowledged in the customer with the estimated shipping dates. At that point, it goes back to engineering, and so then they begin drawing process.
Yeah, so they produce the prints for studios,
Yeah. And when they, if it's custom foundation, they got to send those drawings out for approval. We get the approval back from the customer. Does not always go that smoothly. Sometimes there's a back and forth, but on the eventual approval from the Delsman Rollins, in the back, it comes back and it will come back to me for kind of a review again. There can be a lot of time.
Sure.
So you need to kind of review it again, make sure that everything's good to go. Goes to purchasing so that they can kind of get the materials coming. And purchasing is aware of the build days from the schedule. So they kind of know now.
They have to now synchronize the delivery of the materials.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Eli and Jarek have agreed on build schedule where they can fit it in, or are you dictating where it fits in? Or who creates that build schedule as to what date they're going to start welding that out?
So Eli and Jared love me. And so they just trust me. So I mean, no, so honestly, yeah, it is kind of, we work together every single day. My position is sort of a liaison, right, between all departments. And so it is tricky. I think for the most part, it works pretty well. As far as making sure that what is scheduled works for engineering, that they have time to produce the prints, that it works for production, that they have time to
produce the steel, Steve to paint it.
Backing up a second to make sure that purchasing, very important, has kind of material. I can schedule it all day long, but if I don't nail those things properly, schedule's going to fall apart, and then everything behind it is going to fall apart. So, I guess to answer your question, I'll go. They know how I schedule it. All of the scheduling has been done by working with production and hiding out how long the dirts take, and that everything's timed out by existing build times that we already know how long those builds take. So if I'm scheduling just 4 Centurions in a row, standard 70-11 steel decks, we know that they take about a day to build.
2 shifts or 1 shift?
That's across 2 shifts.
Okay. So 2 shifts will spit a Centurion out the end of the build. That's welded together, painted.
No, that's welded. That's welded. That's in our fixtures. So that basically we give on Centurions and stuff. We'll give about 2 weeks after the end of the build for paint each year time, and kind of get prepped and get the covers on, start everyone ready to go.
Okay. So there's a ton of moving pieces. You're basically a big communicator. You're you're kind of sort of.
Yeah.
Everybody's. How much of a pride does it take to get my scale hooked up in order?
I like Weston.
I mean, that is a nice truck. Right. Oh, I'm just kidding. But that does happen sometimes, right? Where you got the situations where a customer's in a pinch from their customer. And so the chess pieces have to be rearranged to try to get something snuck in.
Yeah, it's quite a balancing to, yeah, because yes, it does.
How many production lines for heavy capacity? Now you got the Centurion line, the custom line. Is there 3 lines?
4. So there's there's basically 4 lines and then a 5th area, right? So we have our standard Centurion line, and so that's where we've got the Balanchai fixtures.
Yeah.
And then we have, if we move across the shop from where those fixtures are, then we have 2 what we call MTS. The MTS is just basically, it's just kind of, it's almost antiquated now. It's just build locations. We just carried that title over. I mean, it's motor truck scale, but those are basically 2 custom lines. And then we have the single M plate line, which is our 4th line. What's that? It basically builds also custom. Those are the Centurions that don't fit in the bolt together fixtures.
Oh, yeah.
So your bolt together fixtures, you're gonna have the 2 modules bolt together, and on the single end plate line, you have literally a single end plate. So it's your 10-foot wide Centurions, because those can't be built with the fixtures. Your lower Centurions, where you get like around 14 inches. Those can't be built with racers. Your hybrids and your endurance are all on that single input color. And then our 5th area is basically where like your high impacts of your coil car seals are made.
Some of the stuff on that custom line, like right now, you guys have a massive rail scale that over there. That thing's got to be 110 feet. It's sitting right there on the floor. Yeah, when I was over there last week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to see. It's some iron.
It's 90?
Oh, maybe. Oh, God.
And yeah, we're galvanized. So
now he's got to get shipped down the road to galvanize. He'll
been doing a lot of galvanizing.
And that's because of all the corrosive chemicals that they're putting on the roads and stuff, correct?
Yeah.
You get ready to make this build, the steel. The I-beam is mostly the I-beam come in pre-cut.
Some of it. I mean, it some of it not, but yeah, most of it I believe, yeah.
But then the steel, the plate, that plate's got to go to the Vernte.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, everything's got to go through paintboard. You get shot blasted and then staged, and then they started producing it.
Yeah.
We had Frank Carter on.
Yeah, I saw it.
That was a cool.
Oh, yeah, Frank's great.
Man, that's a guy that's seen everything. Oh, my. And I'd be learning a ton from listening to talking to Al.
So we talk about the build times and how I schedule. Like, there are still times where I actually just went out to him a couple weeks ago, brought a drawing out, and basically said, hey, we're gonna have some of these coming. This is not the drawing of the scale; it's a drawing of what it's going to be like. Can you give me kind of estimated build times and stuff? So Art, I'll still go to those guys and talk about what do you think? How long? How many shifts? To still schedule it as accurately as possible.
We don't think about that, man, but the welding trade, that's a talented trade, So we see a scale, it's painted, real nice scale sitting out there painted up nice and everything. But that thing still has to carry truck after truck after truck, weighing 80,000 or more across it day after day, month after month, year after year. So there's a lot of talent out there on that floor. But to your point,
there's also a massive coordination that all has to
take place to get that done. How many truck scales? You have to give me an accurate number, just off the top of your head. How many truck scales are somewhere in the production loop at any given point in time, like from order acknowledgement to they're getting loaded on the deck at the other end, plank going out the door to the customer? Just roughly.
Well, like on any given days, we're building like 4 at a time.
Okay.
So like right now, there would be 4 going right now. So with a fit smaller one, right? Yeah. If we're building a higher impact, that area is just as important. I'm just saying, we have the 4 main production lines, and then that area is a smaller area. We will build a smaller scale. But so 4 to 5 are in production, like right now. As far as like on the backlogs.
Well, but then you would also have 4 or 5 ahead of it paint, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Then probably another 4 or 5 at the other end get plates.
I see what you say. Yeah.
So there's 20 maybe-ish at some stage that at any given moment, and then your backlog is way more than that, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because if you're producing, if you're producing 30 some a month, you're basically trying to ship that a month as well. So yeah, they're moving at all stages.
Yeah, I gotcha. So how'd you get to where you're at? You started out shipping 1999.
Yeah.
Small little shipping department.
Yeah.
Hood cells, feet, UMC 600. I got to put my hand over my heart to say. Load cell cable, home run cable, summing box, so forth. So how'd you get to where you're at? What was kind of the steps that you took?
Oh man, there were a lot of steps. So I always stay moving, and I think I've done just a little bit of everything. Well, not everything, right? There's a ton of jobs out in the shop that I couldn't even. We're talking about welders and stuff. I can't do that stuff. Those guys are amazing what they do. But yeah, I started out in shipping, and shoot, for a while I was even shipping STI's axles.
Oh yeah, we read about that.
Yeah, doing the axles. Yeah, build pallets for those. And the shipping department, it kind of morphed over time. More people. I think there were 3 or 4 of us in that department.
That's blowing up in a good way,
But have you seen it back then? For a minute, it got a little bit bigger, and I spent a hot minute doing a little bit of purchasing, and then it always kind of like it would just expand and come back, right? And so I just stayed in shipping for a good while until moving out of the building where we were, came over to where we are now. The shipping department just continued to grow, and then eventually I moved into sales briefly. And then this position, I'm probably leaving out some stuff in there. Because I was even out in production floor for a while, just kind of in leaner times, doing whatever needed done.
Yeah,
on Xeroxes or whatever. Yeah, went into sales for a minute, and then I think Rick and Brett came to me one day and just I think they were looking, and they were just saying, "There's really nobody to kind of follow an order all the way through the system." And we didn't have the position that did that. Really nobody. Things were being scheduled, but there was really nobody to schedule it, follow it,
accure one. Yeah, if it was purchased.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Your department and my department. If you hand the order to me, and if something is left out of the order as it transfers from department to department, there's nobody that would catch that. And so because of that aspect of like, hey, if anything goes wrong at any stage, nobody knows. So when they presented it to me, they said, "What do you think?" And so, I don't know that it was a thing that I had a choice in. Like, what do you think? Will you do it, Abe? When they presented it with, we need somebody that can catch if something goes wrong any place. I think my first reaction was, sounds like a fall guy position. I'll do it. But no, I think they just recognize it. And I had been around long enough to kind of know, I think it was a good fit. And my time in sales, I enjoyed it, but I think part of that issue is people know, I can talk to people.
Sure. Yeah. Communicator. Yeah.
But I'm actually an introvert. And so my battery runs down. So this position, I had no idea, but it seems to suit me very well because I can communicate with people, but I can also go back and I can, spend that time on my own, working on the schedule. But
so you get some time to recharge the social battery while you're in the office. Yeah. Doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now the people, especially the regular brands that speak highly of you as far as communicating, letting them know what's happening, what's going on, moving things around if there's a critical situation with a customer. What's your hobbies? Now, one of the hobbies that you used to have a long time ago, script writing.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. Keep me on the rails here. You guys did some movie production down in Carrollton, did you not?
Yeah. Yeah. So
it was like a horror movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You still doing any of that?
Yeah. So a little bit different now, but I had written a couple scripts and I was trying to shop them out and everything, and a little tough, right? When you're in Ohio, that's kind of something where it's not like it can't be done, but you kind of need to relocate with screenwriting. But, I had read at one point, like, hey, one way to kind of get yourself going is just make your own little independent movie. And so the scripts that I had at the time, I mean, they had semi trucks crashing. I'm not going to be able to pull that off on an indie budget. So I wrote a new one.
And you could have Mike Tyndall from Cam rear test truck down to Alan. Yeah.
So I wrote one, try to keep stuff like that on the minimum. And we started working on, I was working with a crew out of Columbus and great group of people. And, we started getting it off the ground. We actually filmed a trailer that was, filming the trailer before you film the movie. It was just like a fundraising thing to just kind of put out there, kind of get it like a Kickstarter, something like that going. Like the whole thing ended up falling apart, and it's kind of funny. This might be a reach. So I hurt my arm reaching for this point here, but this is just kind of occurring to me that it's, I think it was when you were talking to Andy on the podcast, talking about, why did we start building our own scales, and it's just that reliance on other people. So nothing wrong with it, but you can kind of control your own destiny a little bit more, where you can do your own, more you can do on your own. Like when I was younger, I was in bands. Well, if anybody quits the band or flakes out on you, you're not going anywhere. And then with screenwriting, I was working on trying to get something going, and then even indie filmmaking. Well, if something, and I don't want to be disparaging to those guys, I'm not going to say if they flake out, but if, because we had very real things that kind of shut that production down. But nevertheless, I was very dependent on all these other people to kind of carry my vision, Yeah. So now I'm just writing books.
Real?
Yes. So, and the same thing, man, like if it goes bad, if you bomb, it's, it's all on me. So
fictional books or that's neat, man. So that's kind of your hobby.
Yes, absolutely.
And the way to unwind, the way to put the creativity to work.
Just finishing up the first one and putting some tweaks on it, and we'll try the traditional publishing route. If that doesn't work, I'll self-publish and then move on to the next.
So you're getting older, Abe. So your wild days are behind you. Now you leave work, go home.
Still sexy, though, isn't it?
Yes, well, here, you can't spell them. But go home, man, relax, and work on your books.
Hang with my girl and try to exercise, stay alive, stay able to move, and work some time in to get some writing done.
Gotcha. In custom builds on the truck scales, is that kind of maybe more? Is there more custom builds than there are standard builds, or is that kind of sort of half and half?
So it fluctuates. I think most of the time it's half and half. Right now, it is more customs than standard. So I'd say it's probably from standard to custom, it's probably 40-60 right now.
And B-TEK really goes after the custom side, correct?
Yeah. And I mean, that's what brought us to the dance.
So they stay with that. Yeah, that's kind of really helped make B-TEK. Guys are running out of room over there.
A little bit.
What's up there?
Good problem to have.
Tell you what, man, you walk in there, if you think about this, next time you're out walking the Ford, over by the Centurion, by the fixtures, rotators.
Yeah.
And in between the Centurion rotators and the paint booth, the Centurion line paint booth.
Yeah.
There's an outline on the floor, steel outline, where the old shipping dock sat at the back of that plant when you started.
That's crazy.
That's wild, man. Yeah. And you're out of room now.
Weren't the floor scales back there at one point at the back of the building?
Yeah, they kind of moved that around a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they welded them up back here for a while. I remember them welding them on the one side for a while. Then everything came over to what is now the camp shop. And they were welding them there for a few years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the first...
Dick Engel.
Yeah, Dick Engel.
Did him over there.
Yeah, Dick Engel. In the first edition of B-TEK, if I remember this correctly, is when they put the O&M side, kind of where they're all built at now. But yeah, it's great. Andy Brechbuhler do a better job. But yeah, so back here, that's how much that plant, that's, yeah, that big, I think 100 by 200 building, and it's expanded twice, and now she's getting full, man. Well, a little bit, which is a good problem to have. How's the B-TEK dealer network? You get a lot of stuff from the B-TEK dealers, the non-Brechbuhler scale companies.
Yeah.
So a lot of communication between you and them.
For sure. From me to them, from me to their specific sales rep. Just trying to keep that communication to everybody.
So a lot of stuff goes out to the B-TEK deal, not a scale going out to the B-TEK dealers as well as the brick dealer side of it for sure. So what do you think would happen, man, if Sprad, Eli, and Rob Miller fall together? What do you think the dynamics of that would be?
I have no idea. I hear them talk about it a lot.
I don't know if Eli plays. I don't know if he's kind of like an analytical guy, so he'd probably be calculating angles, velocities.
I know Rick and Rob and Brett. I know they all play. I have never played golf. So how I hear I played, but I played putt. I've played some mini golf. I'll tear that up. I'll get right in that lighthouse.
But you think Sprad keeps good on his golf scores?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a pencil, right?
Yeah.
Sprad with a Warner Racer.
Brad's my boss, so he's
better being of course, right?
That's my answer. I think that Brad would win.
You're being very court. Kind of maybe one last question, Abe, in case something else pops up. Was the most memorable custom build that you, like the biggest, baddest scale or custom build that you dealt with? I mean, I know there's been a ton of them. You might not be able to boil that down to one, but is there anything that sticks out in your mind as...
Yeah, so the big Berthas, as far as like the big monsters. But actually this past year so this isn't like the biggest, baddest, but it was actually just this past year we did 3 in a row, 90 by 14 concrete deck pit skids.
I remember seeing them over there getting welded up.
Yeah.
3 of
them in a row, and each one
90 by 14.
90 by 14. So 14 foot wide, 3 are in a row. And from a scheduling perspective, I know when these are coming. I know now when you're scheduling this for production, you have to, our 2 custom lines in the middle of the shop. Well, now the one is building a 14 foot wide scale. So I can't put, a scale very wide beside it. And then you fight for crane. So getting 3 of those in a row and then trying to schedule them to quickly ship, because each one is 4 modules. Again, 14 foot wide, which does fit in paint booth. Barrier. So you go to like 15, you're actually having to paint it outside the paint booth. But in each one, each scale had a grain dump, a removable grain dump that was 32 feet long.
Right in the middle.
Yeah. So, it was, each one was 32 feet. I think 12 wide. So the scale's 14 foot wide. The grain dump is 32 by 12.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know the amount of slats now for those grain dumps. But like I said, each one had the removable grain dump.
That's 14 foot. What were they bringing on it? Do you know?
It went out to Little Sioux Corn Processors in Marcus, Iowa. So yeah, went out to
What the heck they were bringing across it, though? 14 foot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were driving. Wow. What was coming across?
How long did it take to weld one of those up? How long do you have to schedule?
Should have come prepared with that. No, I want to say is that each one was an 8 to 10 day build because mainly of the grain dumps. But, because a concrete deck pit scale is actually one of our quickest builds on those custom lines. So like a 70 foot concrete deck pit scale, 70 by 10. We're going to knock that out. Probably, use the 3 modules. We're probably going to knock it out in 3 days. But getting into these, it was, considerably longer. And like I said, a lot of it is just those grain dumps.
Yeah.
But each one went, I think one went at the end of May and the other 2 went in July. Got them out of here. So the customer was happy. We were happy. They didn't sit around.
And now, I remember seeing them things. I just saw one of them. Yeah, so I didn't see all 3, but I remember. Oh, macro. And now B-TEK has added a weekend shift that starts on Friday, runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
So that helps you out in your head.
Yeah.
Sarah Yates like,
Yeah.
So now we can fit even more in the schedule.
Yes.
Because that allows you to turn about 3 more scales a week.
It will.
Just depending upon what the build has.
Yeah. That's going to be a huge help. It's going to help us, the first step is stay on schedule. And then the second step is to begin to eat into the schedule and open up new opportunities and such. So yeah, it's, and that's that balance of trying to, it's like a relationship, right? Like if I want to be the best partner I can be in my relationship and my marriage and whatever, then the best thing I can do is to really work on myself. If I try to be everything for my partner, but I don't know who I am and I don't know what I stand for and I don't work on myself, then it's going to be empty. I'm not going to be the best partner I can be. But if I work on myself and I know who I am and I know what I stand for, then I'm going to be an even better partner. And I think that's what we do over there, is just the best we can serve our customers is to continue to try to improve ourselves. And
That was a good way of looking at that.
yeah, and that is that struggle with, you want to be everything to everybody. All these decisions, by the way, are made way above me. But by trying to continue to take on these things that other people say no to try to continue to, provide that custom scale at a decent lead times, you're always going to fight.
Sure.
You're always going to fight them. But yeah. But if we can, add this weekend shift, that first step helps us stay on schedule. Second step opens opportunities to work other ones in. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. Your day shift, night shift, now weekend shift. So yeah, time to start gobbling them up.
Yeah.
Now I'm up.
And then you're on the back half of your career. Take us out 10, 15 years from now. And you have to be particular on it, but 10, 15 years from now, where do you see yourself at B-TEK? Where do you see B-TEK? Where do you see B-TEK being at that point in time? I mean, the place has exploded in a good way.
Yeah.
Over the past pretty wild to see what's happened.
Different than when we came in.
Completely different aberration. So we're
On the Brechbuhler side too.
yeah,
Branches, what, 18?
yeah, 18 shops, and just the type of technology, the people and what they're capable of doing. What do you see over there in 10, 15 years, man?
So the systems side of things really just continuing to grow.
Yes.
I guess that's the thing, right? Just growing with roots still firmly where they've always been. So no matter what, taking care of the customer, I know that's like the
Right, but it actually means something. It does, because you lose that root, your business is going to topple at some point in time, because that's the customers, the ones that's who pays. That's how we're in business,
and it's real here. I think that's one of the things. Like in my career here, that's what you see. Is it really? There are some companies, who just kind of have their slogans or whatever, and maybe they don't actually mean it. Here, it's Abbott, Andy, Craig, Clyde, Dennis, all the way to, you, me, the people that have been here for a long time. Yeah, growing, but with our roots still in the very, very basic elements of, at the end of the day, that is where it begins and that's where it ends.
Making sure we're serving the customer.
Ensure the customer.
Yeah, that and the Brechbuhlers, they always, since I've been here, have invested back into the company.
Yeah.
So people seeing that.
Yeah.
And, nice equipment, nice facilities. So you got a healthy base. And then to your point, the customer service side, I would take it. The roots rooted in taking care of the customer, because that's who ultimately, that's kind of our ultimate boss, I guess, so to speak. So yeah, I think it's some cool and exciting things over the next 10, 15 years. And the neat thing is when the day finally comes where Abe's scheduled the last scale he's going to schedule, you can look back and say, I helped create that.
Yeah.
I helped create that. I was part of something bigger than me. And I helped create that. And you truly did. Correct me if I'm wrong here. If there's a young person out there who's like, I've been told there's no hope. And, to be able to make it in this society, be able to make it in a workplace, so forth and so on. You're an example of the opposite of that. And it takes time. Time and patience.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. They don't hand you the keys to the kingdom.
No.
You gotta do your time. You learn the fundamentals of the particular trade that you're in. And then piece by piece, as the company grows, opportunities open up, and you could get into a position where you're at. At the branch, it's the dude. They really like you, man. They talk or shoot there. So, your Christmas, some bottles and stuff should be showing up for Christmas. Abe, I appreciate you coming on.
It's been January, just hung over.
Yeah, so the sales are getting done in January.
They call me in January. And
Yeah, we can do that.
The coolest thing is, we're talking about where the company goes. They're a young person, right? Looking for
something to be part of.
I'm a college dropout twice, by the way. So turns out when all you do is write lyrics or argue with the psychology professor, you won't pass. No, I just, or if you drop out. So yeah, it's like I was a bit directionless, and then came into this job. Jeff Graham.
Yes.
I was working at a gas station, and I think Jeff, he was a regular in there, and he ends up talking to me one day outside of work. He respected it enough to not approach me at my job at the time. And he just ends up talking to me one day, and he says, let me ask you something, buddy. I ended up.
What did you say? Well, what do you do?
Yeah. I don't know that I cared that much. He just, I think he presented it as, it's like, you can, I'm not promising.
Yeah, riches. You're not going to get promised anything,
but I'm promising you'll have an opportunity to make a career. And so coming in, I've just always tried to just work hard and stay moving.
Show up and care. Show up and care. I mean,
I just care. You know, it's like I don't always do it right. You know, sent a truck seal to Michigan one time. They weren't ready for it. That was year one in this position.
where was it supposed to go? Like Louisiana?
It was supposed to go there, just not yet.
Oh, God. So, well, she got the right state, Abe. So, was always the plus in the story. You got to the right state.
Yeah. So you can't make too many mistakes like that. But, you know, so that was it. 26 years, man. That was my mistake. One time I made a mistake. You can't reproach. But have you, like, the young person's looking for something, you know, everything needs weight. We sent some scales out to Hawaii when they had wildfires. And, you know, when they had wildfires out west a couple of years ago, we were trying to get some portables ready again. I think that's cool to have some portables ready to go to clean up disaster relief, environmental cleanup, and stuff like that. I mean, everything in life needs weight, even the damage.
Yeah, you're right. That the situation East Palestine, the train wreck. The Youngstown shop put scaling down their way, all the contaminated material coming out of that. So yeah, you got to drew around this field. It's if you're willing to do your time, you got to be patient, man. That's the thing. You if you're patient, you're willing to do your time. And it's an industry that sort of recession proof because we're in all these different industries. Yeah, one industry kind of pukes a little bit. You still got the other one. So
we saw during COVID, we were considered essential.
Yeah, because stuff still had to be weighed.
Still needs weight.
So you don't think about it when you don't work in this industry. Yeah, no idea. You know, when they offered me the job, like scales, okay, you think bathroom scales,
right? Yeah.
Oh, no, little bigger. Oh, could find out everything you feed. I remember one day I was working at a can shop. I had to go to a job. Probably shouldn't use customer names here, so I just want to say I had to go to a job in a nearby town at a facility that made Weight Watchers, which I probably could use some of that. But yeah, you're right. They're making Weight Watchers food, so I had to go there and work on some scales. And then after there, I had to leave, go to the opposite end of town to the wastewater treatment plant to weigh all the doo-doo going into the incinerator. So the food gets weighed at both ends in the cycle of life, Abe. Anyway, man, I do appreciate you coming on and
appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no, I think it was a lot of fun. I think most of this will make it through the editors.
All right.
I don't know. It depends, the boss. It should.
Might be saved just a lot of my rambling.
But yeah, hopefully our boss shows up at lunch here sometime. Well, it's with 1:30, so
that's where he is. He's picking it up.
Ah, yes. All right, man. Well, we'll do this again. We'll get right up. We'll get you back in here and try this again another time.
Tell some more stories of the early days.
Yes. Well, yeah, I'll ball them and make.
No, not all of the stories.
They would make the edit, but some of them. All right, Ed. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.